I mean, I'm not kidding when I say I have more nerves now than I feel like I had in the World Tour. Maybe it's because of the cadence with which we raced. In a World Tour, you race 60, 70 days a year, and so a race is just another race, and certainly there's bigger ones and smaller ones, but now I'm at this period of my life where I'm racing a half dozen times a year, and so every race has that much more prominence and importance, and a result matters, even if that pressure is self-imposed. By being public about this 2024 comeback, I've certainly put myself out there, and I recognize that by doing so, I've set a precedent that I would like to be able to fulfill. The pressure is there as a result in a big way. You know, this is the first, I'd call it the first real big test of the year. You got guys coming in from all over the country, handful coming in internationally. I can't help but, given my history in the sport, think of parallel seasons with that of what's happening in the World Tour. And here we are, mid-March. I mean, the big spring classics are kicking off, and Mid-South has the feel of a big spring classic. I know the course, and I know the terra firma. I mean, I know what to expect from the rocks, what the mud is like. I mean, it's few and far between here. It's definitely a dry year, but yeah, I mean, you avoid it at all costs because it's clay. So, yeah, to know a place like this gives me a heck of a lot of confidence. I know what I'm getting into. And literally, I've ridden this course, right? I mean, they do change it year to year, but I think I've ridden this course perfectly for the past at least 1 year. The whole year is one of process. I think cyclists really embrace the training process. So going through the motions and knowing that I've done the base miles and I've done the introduction to intensity and more intensity. And success is getting through tomorrow safely. And I look at the power numbers I was producing last week and the heart rate data that I haven't seen those levels in years, to be honest. So to come out of it healthy and with, to have raced well, to have raced smart, I think that's a metric of success I'm shooting for. Everything I've done since last October, I know has put me in the right position to be on the start line tomorrow. I mean, it gives me tremendous confidence to know that I'm ready. I mean, this is bringing me back up to speed, right? I mean, in another way, as much as I've been riding for the past 9 years, completely unstructured, it takes a lot to make yourself suffer. And so outside of going to races, I would largely JRA. I mean, my training was just riding along. Whereas now, I'm catching back up to the field, and hopefully I'm right there in the mix. I mean, I think if everything went great, I'm on the podium. Been on the podium before, it's been a while now, but this is a race that I know and know well, and really think I could do well here.
I'm going to be standing on that side and check me around it.
Dusty, supremely fast. This race is typically really cold in the morning, and really windy throughout the day. And I think the lack of wind is a big reason why there was such a big lead group throughout the day. There was never any sort of breakaway, that's fairly typical. But basically what would happen is you'd go through any sort of technical section and be a front group of 6, 8, 10, 12, and then be a chase group of 10 or 20. So the front group would be 10, and then it would swell to 20, and then it would swell to 30, and then it would swell to 40, and then go through a technical section that's 10 again. Just this non-stop sort of yo-yoing of the size of the front group. I guess as expected, we went into the final single track section. It was a drag race into that section. Nico Roche was on the front. He was probably 2 seconds ahead, and then this group of maybe 15 of us sprinting into it. I mean, overall, I'm content with the day. I'm not happy and I'm not upset by it. You know, I can see what I'm lacking, right? I don't have pop late in the race, and honestly, I mean, that's something that I've always struggled with. So when those attacks are going later in the race, I'm not the one instigating. I'm not able to instigate. I can follow, and that's fine. But I want to get to the point that I have, you know, high-end speed late into the race, because that's what separates winners from also rams, I suppose. I'm happy enough. It was a great early season test. Could be better, could be worse. I mean, again, what's so fascinating about this gravel season, it is so short. You check off one race and you're already 15% through the season. So yeah, I recognize that all these races are going to come fast, and I want to be doing well. Yeah, for sure, it's important to show up at these big races and see where you stack up against top level national and international competition. I mean, the closer you get to Unbound, and then of course Unbound itself, there are so many people from so many nations. I think that's what this race shows. There were plenty of times we'd be in a group of 30 and I looked around and I'm like, legitimately any one of the 30 people in this group can win this race. You know, the level of competition is that high that there's so much horsepower and so much ability. Just try to keep these young kids honest.